Hi everyone, it's Bethany. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to be playing around with the clear stamp and coordinating dies of the month for the month of August. And we're also going to do the embossing folder of the month. Spellbinders has invited me to join in on creating with their monthly club kits. I will link those down below. They have a variety of different clubs that you can go ahead and join. And they're really neat because there are a variety of different types of clubs based on how you want to either craft or grow your collection, and it's really fun to have it as a little surprise each month. So the clear stamp of the month, look how pretty that is. I love that floral. I also, my eye is loving these cute sentiments. I'm gonna try to do it. There we go, so we can really see them. Isn't that pretty? I really love them. Sending a happy hello, thank you friend, a little message to say. We have for you, and then flipped this way, we have hope all is well with you. Aren't these sweet? I think they're so fun. I also like how you can take these and do other things on other cards with them. I actually have done that with this exact stamp set because this was what was drawing my eye when I first opened this up. It's so fun. Okay, so what I'm also really intrigued with is the idea that we have a partial die here. So you can, of course, put it together and have an entire die, just like that, to cut out the entire image. But I like that they are split apart in case you want to just cut out a portion of it or one side of the stamp. I think that that really offers some fun creative opportunities. And then, of course, we have the coordinating dies for the little accompanying sentiments. For the embossing folder of the month, this is so pretty. I love this because it's such a universal and unique design, which you could really put for, you know, any type of occasion. I think that's really fun. So we'll see how we kind of run with this card. I'm not quite sure what I want to do yet, but I am really excited to see how we have a little partial die. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that, but let's just see how this all shakes out. Okay, so I have a little A2 size panel here, and I'm kind of thinking about doing something where I kind of frame the card, maybe down here and then up here as well. I'm thinking this could be really neat. So before I do anything, I need to bring in my Misti here, and I'm going to bring my magnet right there. I'm also going to add just a little piece of tape here and here, and I'm purposefully going in opposite areas of where I'm going to stamp. Okay, that way that holds that nice there. So if I grab my stamp here, I think my first one is going to go something like maybe this. Okay. Go ahead and clean that down. Go ahead and condition that stamp. And I want to use a black ink. So I'm going to use this Memento ink and just get that nice and inked up. And I'm doing the whole thing knowing that obviously it's going to stamp off of the paper, but we can remedy that in just a little bit. We'll just clean off our mat. Okay, so there is the first side. So pretty. Oh, very neat. Okay. Then I'll do one more just to make sure that's nice and bold. I'm kind of giving an idea there of where I need to stamp. There we go. And transfer that over. And I opted to use my full-size Misti just because of the size of this stamp and how I'm going to kind of manipulate it within the little pressing field here. Okay, I really like that. I think that's really pretty. So let me grab some little wipes. That way I can clean off this area. Okay, this is nice and dry and clean. So I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to use the other kind of side of that and do, I like how that kind of frames that so nicely. Okay, I'm going to do something like that. Okay, and it comes off of the Misti there, but it's going to be just fine. Okay, there we go. And, oh, it's really clinging. Okay, let's make sure that we're all situated. Okay, we should be all good. Okay, ink that up. Oops. And should be all primed and ready at this point. Okay, I think that should be just about right. There we go. Ooh, really nice. Oh, I like that. That's fun. And just add one more just to give it some really good contrast to make that nice and bold. Okay. And here we go. There we are. Okay, I really like that. So I'm going to remove my little panel here. How fun is that? Oops, there we go. That's really neat. Okay, I'm going to do a little cleanup here, and then I'm going to decide how I want to bring in some color. Okay, I am loving the idea of keeping this in black and white and then bringing in some color with some paper strips. So what I'm thinking is I'll use, let's use one more. I'm going to use some of these cardstock pieces and colors from Concord and 9th. I have honeysuckle, grapefruit, nectar. This is buttercup, sprout, and juniper. And I will, of course, link everything that I'm using to bring this card together down below. But what I want to do is grab my mini trimmer and create some strips. So I'm thinking I really want to go thin here. So let's do 1/4 inch paper strips. And I think I just want to do one of each color. So I'll just bring all of these in, measure 1/4, and have some fun bringing in color with some paper. Sometimes, for two reasons really. Sometimes I just don't feel like coloring, which I think, you know, is quite fair. I think many people go through phases of wanting to color and wanting not to color, but also, okay, we'll do that. I feel like, sorry, this isn't quite straight. This is kind of a scrap piece. There we go. But also, I really am loving this in black and white. I feel like that is a really fun stamp that translates well, just simply stamped just like that. So I want to play around with that. Okay, last one is juniper, and then we can play around with gluing some strips down. Okay, I'll grab another A2 size panel. And this time, now I just need to decide how I want my strips. I think what I want to do is have them maybe just straight across. Yeah, I think that's going to be nice. So what I'm going to do actually is I'll grab a piece of washi tape. I want to use my glass mat to line up my little strips here. So I'm going to tape this here. And that way I can get these nice and straight. Okay, let's use, maybe I'll use liquid glue here. Yeah, I think I will. So I'm going to use some of this Barely Art liquid glue. And if I get some on my mat, then that is one of my favorite things about having a glass mat, is I'll just wipe it off. And using the grid lines on my mat, I can just line up that first strip. And really, after you get, is that good? after you get your first one, you're golden. You're all set. So you just have to get the first one really good and you're all set. So now the key here with these strips is you want to make sure that they line up, oops, right next to each other. Don't have any gaps, and it will turn out really good. Okay, and I'm not worried about it lining up on the side or being perfect in that respect, because this will all just get trimmed down in just a bit. Okay. Do that. Pretty. These are pretty colors. Oh, I missed my nectar. Shoot, I do want to use that. Whoop, there we go. Just a second. I do love this nectar color. Got a little ahead of myself with my little rainbow. But I like how this color just is a nice transition from that grapefruit. Okay, there we go. Now we can do our yellow. And I'll just keep placing these little pieces in. And then, let's see, I'll do this. And then I think I want to trim this. Well, I might keep this panel at the A2 size. So I think I have an idea of what I want to do. Okay, there we go. So now, let's take this up and off the mat. And be gentle here. There we go. I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer again because I do think I'm going to keep this at this size. I don't think I'll trim this down at all. So I want to bring this in and get a really good straight cut. You could do this with scissors too, but I'm just going to use my faithful paper trimmer here. Okay. And then, okay. So then I have my nice little panel there. So now with this, I'm going to grab some A2 layer dies, and I am just going to, actually, you know what I could do is I could simply use my paper trimmer just to trim these down. Now I actually really want this to be super visual when figuring out, let me find my dies, when figuring out how small I want to go. I kind of think I want to do something like this. Yep. Okay, so this is the 4th in. That'll look really nice. And it still has, let's see. Yep, I think that looks good. Okay, grab some tape. And I like to tape on the outside when using washi tape just because even though it's a very mild tape, sometimes it does rip. And I could use, you know, good, or, you know, better tape. But I am on a mission to use up my washi tape, and there's no stopping me now. It's feeling so good to have a purpose for it because I'm just not using it. Okay, let me trim this down with my Spellbinders, and then we're going to use those dies to trim these out. Okay, all ready to go. Okay, and then I have a little trim down panel. Okay, the reason I want to do that is because I want to have a border around, let's see, where is my nice colorful panel? I'm going to have a border around this. Oh, that's really neat. You know what? I originally was, let's see, what do I want to do? Oh, goodness. I was originally going to trim these pieces out. That way we could see the rainbow throughout. But this looks kind of neat too. No, I think I'm going to go with my original choice. So let's grab, and I think I can do these both at the same time. Let's see here. Oh goodness. Okay, that looks right. let's grab this. Okay, that looks nice. Tape that. And tape that. Okay, and then let's do this one. Oh. Okay, I think this is going to be really neat. In my head it looks neat, so hopefully it comes to life here. I just really want this to be, I just am loving this floral image in black and white. It's just really neat, but it would be so fun to color too. You know, if given the right mood, then this would be really fun to color. Okay, so now I need to kind of remember how much I have. Is that a 1/2 inch on each side? It is. Okay, so I have about a 1/2 inch on each side. That way I know how to place these pieces back on there. Okay, grabbing my Spellbinders one more time. Let's place these kind of wonky in there. Okay, it's gonna make it. And then I will trim these pieces out. Okay, so this piece and this piece. So I am going to bring these in. Is this how I had it, or did I have it? I think I had it this way. Oh, I think this is going to be really neat. Okay, and then I was going to put my sentiment down here, which I think will be really fun. But first, let's go ahead and I think I want to use some foam tape here. I think that will be really neat. If I get these in place though, what I think I'll do is if I have these, I think it was a 1/2 inch on each side, I'm going to place these down very delicately. And what I'll do is get them in place and stamp my sentiment before I do the foam tape, because I feel like the foam tape would interfere with my Misti a little bit, or I just worry it would. It might not, but I worry it would. So if I do that now, then I can add my sentiment real quick and not have to worry about stamping it freehand with a stamp block. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to use the little sentiment, sending a happy hello. I just really like how it flows really well with kind of this opening here, the shape of the sentiment. Okay, I think that is good. Okay. And I'm just going to use the black ink once more. All right. Prime that. And we'll do the memento. And that's a really kind of fine line font, so I'm going to just kind of tap that. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and do it twice. That way it takes on the same kind of bold contrast of the floral stamps that I did. There, just like that. Okay, I am going to use a foam tape. I think it will just look really nice. But I'm going to very gently remove my tape here. There we go. And what I want to do, I want to decide though if I want to trim this down any further. I don't think I do, because I think if I trim this down any more, we're going to lose some of that color. Well, obviously we're going to use that color, but visually I think it's better to keep this at a full size. Okay, let's grab some non-stick scissors, and I'm going to just cover the back, let's actually do it this way, with some foam tape. And I'll trim down some pieces to get those little areas. But I really want to bump this part up. I think that would look really fun. Although somewhat tedious there, I think that's going to look really nice. So I'll take the little backers right off of my foam tape there to reveal that adhesive. And then I can place this down. There we go. And sticky. Being mindful of that 1.5 inch margin that I had. think that looks good. Just like that. Okay. Oh, that looks really nice with the dimension there. That's really neat. Okay, this is fun. Let me go and gently do the same here. Okay, I went ahead and added that next piece. Doesn't that look so nice? I love this. I'm going to add this to a card base and then add some fun little embellishments, but I think this is really, really fun. So I'll bring in my Score Buddy with 110-pound cardstock. This is going to be sized at 11 by 4 1/4, and then I'm going to place my score line right at 5 1/2. That way this will turn into a top folding A2 card. And then actually I'll keep my Score Buddy so I can line up my panel and get that right in there. There we go. And I will use that same liquid adhesive. And the reason I'm going to use the Score Buddy is because if I can just, you don't need a Score Buddy actually. You can do anything that has a nice right corner that you can nudge this into. But if you have something to kind of square your corner in, then you can take this corner, and as long as you just place it right in there, then it's going to line up perfectly. Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to place that the other way and just really gently make sure that that adhesive lines up. All right. Wow, that's cute. Let me go ahead and add just a couple embellishments, something simple because I think that this doesn't really need much. I'm loving the simplicity of this card right now, so I don't want to really take it too far, but I do want to add a little something. And when I'm feeling that way, I always opt for a little dewdrop. So I will grab, I'm just going to grab a couple, and let's see, got a couple little small sizes. I kind of want to do something down here in just this neutral white area. Maybe even something like that. And then I do want to bring some into the colored area because it's just so fun. Okay, I am loving that little placement there. So what I'll do is, let me bring in just a little bit of tape there to just kind of tape that in place. Bring in my glue one more time and add the tiny ones down here. I love this mix, although I opt for the two smallest sizes, and they tend to be my favorite, and I've used these so much that now I have used those sizes almost completely up in the mix that I have, and I need to get a new set. Okay, I'm going to do something like this, and then kind of go off the color strips there. I think that's really fun. Okay, there is my final card using the clear stamp and die of the month. I didn't end up bringing in the embossing folder of the month for this particular card, but I'll go ahead and use that another time because I really liked just kind of a flat panel for this. It really just helped with the simplicity of this card. And I think the design choices are really fun here. You have some color, but you also have some really simplistic black and white floral, which I think is so fun. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed creating this. Please be sure to go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy watching. And as always, everything that I used to bring this card together will be down in the description box below. I can't wait to continue crafting with you next time. See you soon.